Garden of Forking Paths is the last story in part 1 of Ficciones. Yu Sun is secretly a German spy in England and believes he's under threat. Captain Richard Madden does not yet know Yu Sun possesses the secret, the name of the exact site of the new British artillery park he wants to let the Germans know about before he's captured and executed as one of their spies. Going through his possessions, including a revolver with a single bullet, Yu Sun thinks of a plan to get the name of the site to his chief in Berlin, and in the telephone directory locates the name of the only person capable of passing on the information. Yu Sun explains his motives for spying. He didn't do it for Germany, a barbarous country that made him spy, which he hates. He did it to prove an Asian man could save his chief's armies, and also to escape from Captain Madden. He heads to the village of Ashgrove, but buys a ticket for a station further on to conceal his destination. As the train leaves, he sees Madden running furiously but vainly the length of the platform. Yu Sun thinks the duel had already started and believes he's won the first round by an accident of fate. When Yu Sun disembarks, some children direct him to Dr. Stephen Albert's house. Yu Sun reveals he is the great-grandson of Chopin, a provincial governor who retired to write a novel and to create a maze in which all men would lose themselves. A stranger assassinated Chopin 13 years later. No one understands his novel. Nobody ever found his Labyrinth. Behind Albert's iron gate is a summer house or pavilion. Chinese music issues from it. A man approaches from the main house, carrying a paper lantern, and speaks to Yu Sun in Chinese, assuming him to be a representative of a Chinese council that's come to see the Garden of Forking Paths. The startled Yu Sun reveals he is the descendant of Chopin, creator of the garden. The man is Stephen Albert, and he invites Yu Sun into his house, filled with European and Asian books. Formerly a missionary in China, Albert aspired to become a sinologist, an expert on China. They talk about Chopin. Aware he must make an irrevocable decision, Yu Sun believes Madden will arrive in less than an hour. Albert reveals he has figured out Chopin's Labyrinth is Chopin's novel, an invisible labyrinth of time. He says the clue was Chopin's desire to make an infinite labyrinth, which could not just be a physical labyrinth. He shows Yu Sun a letter written by Chopin. I leave to various future times, but not to all, my garden of forking paths. Albert explains, in most books, a character makes a choice. In Chopin's novel, the character chooses simultaneously all alternatives. In doing so, the character creates various futures. He gives an example in which a character, Fang, chooses to kill an intruder and chooses not to. He makes an analogy with himself and Yu Sun. In other possible pasts, you are my enemy. In others, my friend. Also, a riddle can't have its answer in the question. The novel that is a labyrinth of time never uses the word time. To eliminate a word, says Albert, is perhaps the best way of drawing attention to it. Albert says the Garden of Forking Paths is Chopin's image of the universe, an infinite series of times. Albert poses various permutations of their present encounter. In some, Yu Sun is the enemy. Then, as Albert rises and turns his back, Yu Sun shoots and kills him. Yu Sun hurriedly recounts the rest of the story, saying it's unimportant. Arrested by Madden, Yu Sun has been condemned to hang, but he has triumphed. The secret name of the city to be attacked got through to Berlin. The city's name was Albert. News of Yu Sun's arrest for the murder of Stephen Albert communicated it to Germany. He thinks the chief already figured this out, but the chief does not know of my infinite penitence and sickness of heart. In the Garden of Forking Paths, both Dr. Stephen Albert and Dr. Yu Sun are familiar with possible worlds theory, which maintains the universe is composed of many worlds. One is actual and the other is possible. Philosophers have used possible worlds theory to theorize modal logic. Propositional logic is the logic of statements which are true or false. Modal logic adds expressions like probably to the true or false judgment. Italian author and critic Umberto Eco describes literary texts as machines for producing possible worlds. Each literary text contains not just one possible world, but many possible worlds imagined and written by the author, possible worlds imagined by the characters, and possible worlds imagined by the reader, imagining what will happen next. Chopin is an author, and he creates a possible world in that he writes a novel. However, at every turn in the plot, the novel presents all possible outcomes as chosen. Any character in the novel chooses simultaneously all of them. In this story, Borges also makes intricate twists in the world imagined by a reader who wonders what happens next. As Borges says in the prologue to Part 1, The Garden of Forking Paths is a detective story in which the reader is the detective.